If you want to make a change, you have to be a part of the system that you want to see change.
It's an interesting job. You get to do something different every single day. Investigative aspect is interesting, and you get to do so many different things that even just being a police aide working in the office can help the community.
Growing up, my family did have interactions with the police, so that's one of my driving forces to do better and be better when dealing with the community.
If you truly want to be effective in your policing career, you have to listen to the people that you're connecting with. You have to get out of the squad car and go and talk to those individuals and really get to know them. Once we build positive relationships, I think that's how things get better in our community.
It's challenging to be a recruit, but you can do it.
Hello and welcome to a special episode of Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Our focus today is on the Milwaukee Police Department. The department will recruit through March 18th, and there are a plethora of opportunities within the Milwaukee Police Department as many officers are retiring at various positions. Here to tell us about that and more is City of Milwaukee Police Chief Alfonso Morales and Executive Director of the Fire and Police Commission, Mrs. Keisha Butler. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you both for being here. And first off, I'd like to find out a little bit more about the two of you. You both have extraordinary careers that are both, in my opinion, motivating and inspiring. So Keisha, if you would, the Fire and Police Commission oversees all aspects of fire department and police department operations. Tell us a little bit more about your background and how you became the executive director of the Fire and Police Commission.
Okay, I was born and raised in Southern Maryland, in the suburbs of Washington, D.C. Went to high school at La Plata High School in Charles County and went to undergrad at University of Maryland, Baltimore County. From there, I graduated and went to Vanderbilt Law School in Nashville, Tennessee, and started my career actually as an insurance defense attorney in Louisville, Kentucky. In 2010, I moved to Wisconsin and became a tax lawyer for the Wisconsin Department of Revenue, where I represented the state in tax matters for about 4 years before I became an assistant city attorney for the city of Milwaukee. And then shortly thereafter was assigned to be the assigned staff attorney for the Fire and Police Commission. I kept them as a quote-unquote client throughout my time there at the city attorney's office. I left the city attorney's office in 2017 and became the head of intergovernmental relations. So I lobbied for about a year with the for the city, and then last year in May 2018 was confirmed by the Common Council as the executive director of the Fire and Police Commission.
Wow, like I said, very inspiring indeed. And Chief, you were raised right there on 33rd and Garfield, and you've held many positions within the Milwaukee Police Department. So if you would tell us a little bit more about your journey and how that has led you to being the chief of police.
Great. I'm from a family of 10. Grew up, born and raised in the city of Milwaukee. The second half of the family of 10 being number 9, we were born here. The other half came from Mexico. My parents migrated here from Mexico. I'm a product of Milwaukee Public Schools. Milwaukee Tech is where I went. One of the biggest rewards was working with and being developed by the coaching staff and the educational staff through Milwaukee Public Schools, who motivated me to go on to college. I'm a graduate of Carroll University, used to be called Carroll College. That's where I was inspired to get into law enforcement. Upon graduating, it took me some time, but I got onto the police department, and it's been a rewarding journey working throughout various departments of the department, from patrol through narcotics investigations, from property card, meaning burglary investigations, to robbery investigations, to homicide investigations. moving up and working on other specialty units that finally led me to where I'm at today.
Wow. And you did mention that you attended Carroll University, which was Carroll College at the time. You were a standout running back. And recently, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel did this piece on you and talked about how being a part of the football team and different sports actually helped shape who you are today. And you really take the whole concept of teamwork right to the police department. Talk about that.
Absolutely. The Milwaukee Police Department is a giant team. It's an organization that requires everybody to play their role. There is no unimportant piece within the department, from the civilian staff to the sworn staff, and that's why if you enjoy sports, this is an easy transition, even for military, who also pushes the team concept. If you have a background in that team concept, you'll fit right in with the police department.
Yeah, we always hear what people say, there's no I in team, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
So before we go any further, it is necessary for us to talk about a very somber and extremely unfortunate situation. Our condolences go out to you and your organizations on the recent loss of Officer Matthew Rittner. So, Chief, if you would, kind of give us an idea of how you and your department are dealing with this situation at such a difficult time.
As we just talked prior to that, it's a huge loss, each and every person that we lose within the department, and it's not always through death. Sometimes it may be through injury or people that choose on to take another profession. It's difficult because everybody is not only a part of a team, but we're part of a family. When you understand that your role is important, that what you do, people rely on you, and then you have to rely on somebody else, to leave that chain is very difficult.
Yeah.
So we're struggling.
I can only imagine. And really, it's just a reminder to everyone that each and every day when you put on that uniform, you are committing to really just saving lives, but you put your life on the line every time you do that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what strengthens us, because we appreciate one another. We understand that we are important.
Well, I'm sure I speak for so many when I say thank you for what you do. And LaKeisha, needless to say, the loss of an officer also has great impact on you and the commission as well.
Yeah, you know, the staff and the commissioners all take it to heart. We are not, although we're not out on the street with them day to day, we are very much aware that they are risking their lives on behalf of us and the citizens of the city of Milwaukee every day when they go to work. And my staff in particular is very cognizant of that as we work through the process of hiring and recruiting folks. And we do the best we can to do a good job by them, to make sure they have all the information they need and to make sure that we're bringing on the best people we possibly can, but also knowing that this is it's a risk of the job, but it's a big risk. And we don't take it lightly that people choose to do that on behalf of the citizens.
Absolutely. So I thank you both for sharing that. And again, our condolences to Officer Matthew Rittner's family, friends, and colleagues. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and talk some more about this big recruitment and why it's so important.
Thank you.
Thank you both. So we're going to take a break, as I said, and when we return to Our Issues Milwaukee, we'll discuss the hiring process of the Milwaukee Police Department and who qualifies. Keep in mind, MPD is recruiting through March 18th, and if you or someone you know is interested, you can call about police officer recruitment at 414-286-5000. Visit their website at city.milwaukee.gov/FPC or email recruitment questions to kboofer@milwaukee.gov. We'll be right back.
Get it up, get it up, get it up. So how long you been thinking about this?
To be honest with you, I've been thinking about it for a minute. I think I could actually be good at it.
You actually be good at a number of things. Anything you put your heart to. But being a cop is not something that you do just because you be good at it.
Okay, if you'd have asked me years ago would I have been a police officer, I would have told you no way. But the more and more I think about it, the more I feel like I could actually do good as a police officer. You know, help make a difference.
What does your mother and your grandmother think about it?
Well, my grandmother, she says it's a good idea. She think I should go for it. But she says not to let it change who I am. As far as my mom, I don't really know what she thinks. My friends, they're 50-50. Some think it's cool, others not so much.
Can't you blame them? Given this climate, the tension that's out here, you act like you haven't been watching the news.
And I know what's going on.
So why this? Why now?
I feel like things could be better. And I feel like I can do Milwaukee a lot of good as a police officer. I want to help fight for Milwaukee. You think it's a bad idea?
Honestly, I think it'd be a bad idea not to. I'll be proud of you, man.
Appreciate it.
Let's finish this set.
Let's do it.
Welcome back to a special edition of Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. If you are just joining us, we've been discussing the Milwaukee Police Department's recruitment, which has gone on through March 18th. If you or someone you know is interested, you can inquire about police officer recruitment at 414-286-5000. Visit their website at city.milwaukee.gov/FPC or email recruitment questions to kbuford@milwaukee.gov. It is a pleasure to have joining us today City of Milwaukee Police Chief Alfonso Morales and Keisha Butler, who serves as the Executive Director of the Milwaukee Fire and Police Commission. Welcome back. And we are discussing this major recruitment that's going on within the department. And the Fire and Police Commission actually establishes recruitment and testing standards for positions within the Fire and Police Department. So if you would, Keisha, go into more detail about the Commission's role in the hiring process of police officers.
So the Commission is responsible basically for getting the chief his recruit class. We do that process from beginning to end, starting with receiving the applications, vetting them to make sure they meet the minimum qualifications first, putting folks through the first written exam. There's a physical exam, there's an oral interview, and then placing you on an eligible list, and then pulling from the eligible list and running people through our psychological exam, background process, and then drug and medical exam, and then finally giving the chief, here's your names, here's your recruit class, and there you go.
Yeah, and it really is a process. Yes. And when people apply to be a part of this process, it will take a little patience to say, you know what, I understand that there are steps that need to be taken, and rightfully so when we look at the importance of these particular jobs.
Absolutely. I would recommend that if you're looking to make a career in law enforcement, that you do this while you're still in school. You apply, or you apply when you're in another job, because it is quite lengthy. It's not difficult, it's just lengthy. And again, it is a very rewarding job, and it's worth the wait.
Okay, so of course there are a long list, not a long list, but there are some specific requirements that one must meet. So if you would give us just a few that will help those people who are interested at home.
Sure, you have to be at least 20 to apply and 21 by the time we call you to join a recruit class. You have to have high school diploma or GED equivalent. And no felonies and no domestic violence convictions.
Okay, makes a lot of sense. And Chief, she just explained how the Fire and Police Commission plays a role in the hiring process. If you would talk about the role that the department actually plays.
Okay, we do the backgrounds once the list is generated, and Once the backgrounds are done and a list is generated, they enter the academy. It's a 6-month process through the academy. In that 6 months, the first 3 months is law enforcement training standards that are mandated by the state of Wisconsin. That's going to be firearms training, physical agility training. It's going to be the state statutes, basically learning the laws and ordinance of the state of Wisconsin, city of Milwaukee. It's going to be the defense and arrest tactics and EVOC, that's emergency vehicle operations. Once those 3 months are completed, they go through another 3 months of training mandates through the city of Milwaukee, which we will gear more towards community-oriented policing. Now we're going into the strategy and mission of the department. After completion of 6 months, they do an additional 12 weeks of field training. Those 12 weeks of field training upon completion from the academy is working with a senior officer before they're allowed to go out anywhere by themselves. So you're going through almost a full year before you're allowed to work on your own.
Okay, and it makes a lot of sense. It really does. So I'll ask both of you, what traits or experiences are you looking for in individuals who would like to be a part of the police department?
I think for the commission, and some of this is based off the 21st Century Policing Task Force that was created by President Obama. We are looking to, one, diversify the police department. As the chief mentioned, we had a lot of diversity that came in with the hiring boom in the 90s, and those folks are starting to retire. And so we want to basically recreate that. We want the police department to reflect the demographics of the city. And so that for us means non-traditional recruiting. We are looking for people who may not have ever thought about law enforcement before. This could be your youth worker, your social worker. This could be a counselor, a communications major. Folks who like to interact with people in the community. Those are the kind of people who may find that law enforcement is right up their alley and is the perfect spot for them.
And so it's important to mention also that there is no particular age limit.
No.
People can look at this as a career change if they like, right?
Yes, they can.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would say character and people who like to work with others, people who want to work with the community. It's no day is the same, which that's the fun thing. It's not one day is the same. However, you have to want to work with people. You have to be able to handle crisis. And again, this is a profession that the rewards come internally. You will appreciate them as the years go by. Great benefits. However, you have to, and you're going to hear me say this on and on again, you have to want to be a part of something.
Okay, and I've heard you say that, you know, even walking through your old neighborhood, you know a lot of the people, you've built relationships with them, and I'm guessing that's the same way you feel with people that you come in contact with from different walks of life and backgrounds. It just goes with the territory, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and that's what's important. If you're able or you enjoy dealing with people, what happens is you become committed to those people and it makes you want to work for those people.
Yeah, yeah. And you have worked, and you did mention this early on in our conversation, that you've done a number of jobs and it has led you to where you are today. You've been on the Vice Control Division, the Gangs Crime Unit, the Homicide Unit, you've worked as a detective, and the list goes on and on. So with that said, there are really a long list of positions and jobs within the police department that one could take on, right?
Absolutely. That said, you can come on this job and say, I want to drive a motorcycle. I want to be a motorcycle traffic officer. I want to work on our tactical enforcement unit. I'd like crime scene investigations. I want to be an identification technician. I like investigations. I want to be a detective. I want to be on our dive team because I like to dive in the water and see what's under the water. I want to ride boats. There is a number of different positions within the department, and you can use those as stepping stones to move on to other areas, which I often recommend is use them as stepping stones, or if you want to become an expert in one of these areas, you can remain there for your career. So everybody starts off in patrol. but you work towards something that you want to do within the department if you choose to.
Okay, and so a couple of questions that anyone who's looking for a job would have right off the bat. One, they want to know, are these immediate openings, Chief?
Yes.
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 Okay. Second immediate question would be, what's the starting pay?
We're at 58, 838 and 32 cents, something like that.
I actually have it written here, $59,898.32 to be exact. So, which is awesome when you look at some of the benefits that come along with it as well. Just a few include 2 weeks of paid vacation after working a full year of service, and Milwaukee Police Department officers are eligible to retire with the city's fully funded pension after putting in 25 years of service. So a lot to look forward to when you're in a career.
Absolutely, and if I can mention this,
Yeah.
the City of Milwaukee pension, police pension, is one of the best in the country. You're getting a large portion, more like 70+% after 25 years, which is huge. No organization, no other law enforcement agency can do that. You may look at the beginning and say, I make more money if I were an FBI agent, but after 25 years of service, they're only making 33% of their salary for pension, which means they have to seek another job. And law enforcement, you can do a full 25 years. If you choose to retire, you're doing very well.
Well, you make a great point, Chief, and we're going to take a quick break and come right back. And just a quick reminder, the City of Milwaukee's police recruitment, that is going on through March 18th. If you or someone you know is interested, we'll give you that information again. It's 414-286-5000. Visit their website at city.milwaukee.gov/FPC. or email your recruitment questions to kbuford@milwaukee.gov. When we return to Our Issues Milwaukee, we'll discuss the Milwaukee Police Academy and the necessary training it takes to become a Milwaukee police officer. We'll do that right after this.
Make a positive change in your community by becoming a Milwaukee police officer. As a Milwaukee police officer, you'll earn a competitive salary of over $59,000, have access to further your education, and secure a pension for retirement. To make a change, consider being a part of the system that you want to see change. Enter as a police officer and grow to maximize your potential in a variety of promotional or specialty positions, building a career and making a difference every day. To learn more, visit city.milwaukee.gov/FPC.
Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. This is a special edition of Our Issues as we focus on the Milwaukee Police Department's recruitment that is happening through March 18th. Anyone with questions about police officer recruitment can call 414-286-5000. Visit their website at city.milwaukee.gov/FPC or email recruitment questions to kbuford@milwaukee.gov. The Milwaukee Police Department employs nearly 2,000 sworn officers devoted to serving and protecting the residents of the city. And if you're just joining us, I have been talking with City of Milwaukee Police Chief Alfonso Morales and Executive Director of the Milwaukee Fire and Police Commission, Keisha Butler. And we are back to talk about the importance of the Milwaukee Police Academy. It is located within the city and hosts a 27-week training course for new recruits to the Milwaukee Police Department. So when a new recruit goes to the academy, what exactly are some of the things that they're taught right off the bat?
They're going to be welcome to the law enforcement group. A lot of that is we're a quasi-military agency, which means we have to follow the chain of command, and they understand that they're on the lowest chain of command. But again, it's a start of bringing you down, but build you back up, similar to what happens in the military. And the biggest purpose of that is to let everyone, each and everyone in that group, know that they have to rely on one another to succeed, because we really push the family and the team.
Yeah, it's kind of the way sports teams do as well, fraternity, sororities. It's an interesting concept, but it works, right?
Absolutely, it does.
Yes, and so what is something that people can look forward to after they've completed the course? They then go on to work with veteran officers. What are some of the things that they will, in fact, learn from those vets?
They're going to learn how to communicate. They're going to learn at recognizing clues of what goes out there in the city, what to look for, and what to pay attention to, and what to address. What are some big issues? What aren't so big? And at the end of the day, how to keep yourself safe. What we push is, and what we're going to be pushing under my administration, is communication. It's extremely important, especially in the era where we're used to cell phones. People from the older generation knew how to communicate better. And what I mean by communication is we're going to respond to crisis situations. Knowing how to communicate your way out of that is extremely important. It's a skill, it's an art, and that's what veteran officers bring.
Yeah, so you guys, there is a probationary period that exists for officers once they are employed with the department, right?
Yes, it's 16 months.
Okay, 16 months, and we've talked about the many jobs that you've held, Chief. So there are also some specialty jobs within the department that people can give some thought to as well.
Absolutely, and they're very rewarding. They're more specialized. Some may be in narcotics, some may be in firearms, like I said, bomb squad, dive team. They're more specialty in nature, and they are areas that people can work and try out if they apply and make it on those teams.
Okay, all good stuff. And so we've got just a few minutes left. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to relay or let our viewers know about in regards to this recruitment process?
If you think you might be interested, we're looking for you. Check us out. Check the website out. Get in contact with our recruiter, and she will immediately start texting you and emailing you where you can meet up with our recruit team, which includes some current police officers as well, and to talk about the different experiences that you will find in the Milwaukee Police Department. We're looking for you. We want you to come and join.
Okay, and I just thought of something, police aides. So for those young people who are watching, it's a great way to start out a career with the Milwaukee Police Department as well.
Absolutely, it gives you an opportunity to get an education and work for it. It's actually a good deal to be out of high school and get a job and get paid to go to school. It also allows you to look at what goes on in the law enforcement community before you turn 21.
Well, there it is.
Most often, they choose to continue that career.
Well, I thank you both so much for coming by and sharing all the great information, and all the best with this recruitment process.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us.
It's been a pleasure. Alfonso Morales is the Chief of Police for the City of Milwaukee, and Keisha Butler, she serves as the Executive Director for the Milwaukee Fire and Police Commission. Once again, the Milwaukee Police recruitment, that's happening through March 18th. If you or someone you know is interested, you can call 414-286-5000, visit their website at city.milwaukee.gov/FPC, or email recruitment questions to kbufer@milwaukee.gov. That is going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, I thank you for watching, and I hope you join us again as we take another look at Our Issues Milwaukee.
Make a positive change in your community by becoming a Milwaukee police officer. As a Milwaukee police officer, you'll earn a competitive salary of over $59,000, have access to further your education, and secure a pension for retirement. To make a change, consider being a part of the system that you want to see change. Enter as a police officer and grow to maximize your potential in a variety of promotional or specialty positions, building a career and making a difference every day. To learn more, visit city.milwaukee.gov/FPC.